Who makes a better off-road truck, Ram or Chevy? We'll find out with today's comparison with the Rebel versus the ZR2. I'll include a link to the Sky Ram and the Sky Chevy and Probo's websites in the description down below. They're providing us with both these trucks. Let's get into it. This week's giveaway highlight is a supercharged Corvette and Silverado. Use code BHC or click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Any donation $25 or more will give you 4x bonus entries into the giveaway. Powering the ZR2 is a 6.2 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 14 around town, 17 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Powering the Ram is a twin-turbo 3-liter inline 6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Fuel economy is 18 around town, 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 468 pound-feet of torque. If you're looking for more straight-to-the-point comparisons like this, make sure you subscribe. Now, the ZR2 is massively over-stylized. I mean, you got red tow hooks, you have that for show skid plate up front because it's not actually a skid plate. There is a skid plate underneath, though. But yeah, I mean, you even have, like, look at this. It's hollow. This doesn't need to be. This is just for show. This thing is just for show, but it looks cool. Now, although the Ram Rebel doesn't have nearly as many colored elements and doesn't have a hollowed out logo for fake extra needed airflow, it does have fake fence. 275 by 70 by 18 for the tire and wheel setup, so 33s on both. Oh, the wheel design is going to be a little bit different on both of them. Now, they're both Goodyear Wranglers, but you'll notice that the siping there on the Ram, and then notice here on the side wall, and then just the general tread pattern, it's a little bit different with both of the trucks. Now, the Silverado has a pretty level stance front to rear. Part of that is the 2-inch suspension lift kit from the factory up front. And then it also does have these off-road side steps. The Silverado also has multi-matic shocks, leaf springs, and a solid axle in the back. Now, the Rebel also has a pretty level stance front to rear. It's got a little bit of rake, though. Up front, maybe a little bit more than the Chevy. The Ram is actually coil sprung. It's got Bilstein shocks, so the shocks aren't quite as fancy as what's on the Silverado. LED lighting in the bed. You've got an outlet, sliders here for the cargo tie-down points. We also have bed liner as well. And the Ram's tailgate's pretty fancy because you just kind of nudge it a little bit and it'll raise back up. Silverado also has LED lights. It's got an outlet. It's got bed liner already. Has this fancy tailgate step system as well. It's not power up. You do have to raise it up. Not too bad though. Now, the Rebel does have the cool kick step there in the back to make accessing a little bit easier. And then I like the bumper there, how that's kind of painted in the satin finish, so it's not going to show scratches and stuff as much, but good looking back end. The ZR2, it's got the bumper steps, but yeah, that's all body painted. Full-size spare on both of them though. That's an important thing to note. Now, in the back of the ZR2, I've got good leg room. I have a little storage pocket here. Cup holders, heated seats, USB ports, some vents, and then here are the seats. Got a little seat storage as well. Got that double stack design there. Power setting rear glass, and then we've got quite a bit of headroom in the back. Legroom in the back of the Ram is really good. Also have recline function with the seat. Storage pocket. Nice trim above, or below the cup holders rather, but above the heated seats and USB ports and outlet. And the seats in the Ram are very fancy with the trim. Got nice trim on the door panel. Power setting glass. This comes down a little bit lower than the Chevy, so that is important to note, and that's because of the panoramic sunroof. Blind spot monitoring with the Silverado. I like this trim. This is really nice. Front two windows are automatic. The mirrors power fold in. You got memory seats with this. And then off to the side, 1344 for the payload capacity of the Chevy. Front seats are pretty fancy with that neon design. Power adjustments, lumbar support. It says a part-time four-wheel drive system, but it has a 2-speed transfer case with that and four-wheel drive auto. Light controls there, heads-up display too. Start her up. Boom. Look at that. Full digital. Steering wheel, they don't really change anything for the ZR2, but you do get paddles on the back. I guess they changed that. Radio controls there on the back too. You've got practical controls for the center. Got a cruise control, the heated steering wheel function there too. Stupid Chevy. I know you can change it, but this whole you have to have your seatbelt in feature to be able to put it into gear is the dumbest thing that any automaker's ever done. I hate some of the stuff Chevy does. But anyways, Great camera system. So that's a plus. I'm gonna take the seatbelt off now. Holy crap. As for the rest of the infotainment system, it's interesting. You guys can see the glare. I mean, that's real world, right? It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Tons of physical controls down below. We've got for the diff locks, front and rear, hill descent, got for the tailgate drop down, auto stop start, got tread brake controls, heated ventilated seats. We also have our climate controls there. And then quite a bit of storage in there with a little shifter. Got phone charging pad and outlet, USB ports. This is nice with the trim on top of the center console. Camera rear view mirror, and then just a regular sunroof. Blind spot mounting with the Ram, and then down below, I mean, look at the door panel trim. Really fancy stuff. Memory seats, the mirrors power fold in, front two windows are automatic. $1,375 for the payload capacity of the Ram. This has the GT seats, so they're basically the same seats as in the RHO, which is really cool. You get your pedal adjustment stuff off to the side. And let's fire up this Ram. Boom. Full digital. Steering wheel's way more stylized. I mean, you got cooler looking paddle shifters, not just plastic pieces of whatever. Radio controls in the back. You got cruise control. Just the trim and everything feels a lot more special. Look at that. I can just pop it right into reverse. Now, big downside. It doesn't have a 360 like a Chevy. Big downside. The infotainment system is huge. I mean, they even include features like part of the trailer brake controls and parking sensors into it. It takes a second for stuff to load up. I've talked about this in the past, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty slow. Heated ventilated seats are part of this too. Just like the Silverado, we have a part-time four-wheel drive system with a 2-speed transfer case, four-wheel auto as well. Got an axle lock, so the Silverado had a diff lock for the front and the rear. This only has for the rear. 2 phone charging pads, got a shifter here. Pretty cool to sit console. Ram logo there on the top. Got the passenger screen, just regular rear view mirror, and then we do have a panoramic center from the Ram. The Silverado stickers for about $78,000, the Ram is about $75,000. Let's see how they perform. Set off in the Ram. Thicker glass, nice. Rams are so nice. You know, they went through a little bit of a hiccup there for a minute, but now I feel like Ram is back and better than ever in some sense, other than the fact they still don't offer a freaking 360 camera as like standard on a lot of trucks. It just needs to be standard in a lot of trucks to be competitive in today's world. But yeah, this inline six is an impressive powertrain. Fuel economy is great, power is great, and Ram is tacking on a very appealing warranty. It's not like, hey, try out our new engine and you only get 5 years, 60,000 miles. It's like, no, 100,000 miles. It's a big warranty. So, I mean, I think at a minimum, like most of you don't keep your trucks past like, because I know, because I sold trucks. Most of you don't keep your trucks past like 90,000 miles. It's usually, like there's a few trade-in points. There's people that trade in at 36,000, 60,000, and then about 90,000. Okay, that's almost every single person in that, somewhere in that range. So this warranty, right? It might be worth it just to try it out. GT exhaust kind of goes hard. It sounds pretty good for an inline six. Yeah, it's so incredibly smooth. Fast too. Best performing truck engine out there. Good fuel economy, good acceleration. You know, it doesn't sound as good as a V8, but it's like you can get this if you get this without the GT exhaust. It's very quiet, so it just doesn't get in the way. And I think a lot of truck buyers would actually prefer that kind of like not getting in the way aspect. Man, this thing drives so well. I miss owning a Ram truck, to be honest. But at the same time, I don't need a truck right now. Maybe I do. It's like that SpongeBob episode. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it. Let's go pop into the Chevy. Silverado. Not thicker glass. So, the V8. Well, it's a GM V8, you know? We'll just leave it at that. 10-year 100,000. I forgot that it was 10 years. That makes it even more appealing. Goodness gracious. That right there sells trucks. Especially with these modern vehicles have so many issues, man. I like how the Chevy drives. I mean, it's a nice drive. Ram is just really finely tuned things with that new truck so well. I mean, the thing that was holding the truck back, frankly, compared to GM and Ford for a minute there was, you know, the acceleration. It's like you had to get a TRX to get a truck that was from Ram that was actually like fast. Like, and you know, the Hemi's not bad. Like the Hemi's more than enough power. It's what I call adequate, right? But like this, right? It feels really powerful. And you get into a Ford with EcoBoost, feels powerful. And then you get into the Ram with the Hemi, and it feels powerful, but it feels like it could use a little bit more. But now with that new Hurricane Inline 6, I mean, it's right there. I think the Inline 6 feels better than this. And the seats in the Ram are a bit more comfortable. Ram definitely doesn't do that, whatever that sound was. GM doing GM stuff, my goodness. Whenever I have glitches with new vehicles out of all the three truck makers, GM is always the one that has the glitches. And it's not like Ford and, you know, Ram are glitch free, but yeah, it's crazy. Good power though. Yeah, there's more noise in this cabin from the outside. The Ram doesn't have a front locker. I think that's like very cool that Chevy is the only one that offers that. Great for people who actually overland. But for 99% of you that are never going to take either truck off-road, doesn't matter. I wish the Rebel had that 360 camera standard. It should, at the price point it's at. Let me know which one you'd pick. But I'm still like I was a Ram guy like years ago, and then I kind of started to kind of leave a little bit because I'm like, yeah, Rams just they're too expensive. But then they brought their prices down, and that engine is so good that I'm kind of a Ram guy again. Come back around.